Luca Zingaratus Italian detective Salvo is back for another season of Sicilian sleuthing and heading back to the Garter, much to the eternal chagrin of his long-distance Mrs. Livia. This week, it's the case of a 70-year-old prostitute strangled in her flat. Respected in town, she was sitting on a fortune, too. BBC4 can continue to try to persuade itself and others that this show is highbrow because it's European, but Italo Bergerac remains daft as a brush. Ben Arnold Len Goodman's partners in rhyme. 6:45 p.m. BBC One. Sure as Bourbons is Bourbons, there will always be a place for friendly TV in the bland but comforting image of Blankety Blank and the Generation Game. This new panel show, hosted by Strictly's Len Goodman, sees minor league celebs and regular folks guess the answers to rhyming clues. Bafflingly 80s, as if irony, postmodernism and subtlety have nipped off and left Uncle Len in charge, the result is compellingly terrible. Sophie Harris. Welcome to Edinburgh. 7:30 p.m. BBC Two. This introduction to the Edinburgh Festival, presented by Kirsty Walk, is also a look back at the history of the event, which celebrates its 70th anniversary this year. Among the attractions profiled are Anushka Shankar, who has taken up the family trade of sitter playing, to much acclaim, and the National Theatre of Scotland's new Double Believer-Dam, a multimedia examination of the challenges faced by transgender people. Andrew Mueller-Ilo's Great Welsh Parks. 8 p.m. BBC Two. Lantern Jawed, taciturn naturalist Ilo Williams heads for Margam Country Park on the edge of Port Talbot. He doesn't linger longer on the history than politeness demands, instead going in search of the fauna. There's plenty to be seen, including Perry David's deer, originally from China, and 11 species of bats, as well as some very odd water stick insects. Williams, though, seems happiest observing cold tits cracking little birds. He exclaims. Jonathan Wright, Child Genius. The final. 8 p.m. Channel 4. Winning is important, and there's no shame in saying that. So claims the positive, if anxious, father of one of the 5 bright young sparks who must score highly in both their niche subject areas and the quickfire buzz-around of the head-to-head to lift the coveted Child Genius trophy. It's a tense watch that raises the issue of parental pushiness, but these children genuinely seem to relish the high-stakes, high-pressure rivalry. Sharon O'Connell. Outside. At 10:30 p.m. Viceland. In 1987, martial arts master YK Kim self-financed an action movie about a rock band, made up of taekwondo experts, who take on a ruthless gang of ninja biker drug dealers. The result, Miami Connection, almost bankrupted him, was laughed out of every studio, and almost ruined his life. More interesting than the film's story is the wildly eccentric Kims, though both could do with a little more exploration than this new half-hood on sober day cult films allows. Luke Holland. Explorer. 12 midnight, National Geographic. The internet provides some of the greatest gifts of our time. It has also become a weapon of mass destruction. A timely comment there from veteran U.S. newsman Ted Koppel, chatting with host Asif Mandvi about Trump, fake news and edutainment, on tonight's episode of the Zippy U.S. Current Affairs Strand. Elsewhere, a look at grills, the oral, decorative kind, and the brutal war on drugs in the Philippines. Ali Catterall. Film choice. The ideal vehicle for Maggie Smith. The Lady in the Van. Photograph. All-star BBC Films. The Lady in the Van. Nicholas Heitner. 2015. 9 p.m. BBC Two. Maggie Smith is a marvel as Miss Shepherd, the eccentric old woman who parked her camper van in Alan Bennett's drive and stayed for 15 years. Alex Jennings is a lugubrious joy as Bennett, but this is Smith's film, her comically cantankerous exterior masking aching inner sadness. There's fun, too, in the well-to-do neighbors' reactions to her smelly presence. Paul Howlett. The Hunger Games. Catching Fire. Francis Lawrence. 2013. 9 p.m. Channel 4. Katniss Everdeen. The amazing Jennifer Lawrence thought she'd finished with the gladiatorial Hunger Games, having survived everything the first film could throw at her. But devious President Snow Donald Sutherland has recognized her new, dangerously iconic status and forces her into a battle of the champions. An overlong sequel that nevertheless sets up the concluding Mockingjay episodes nicely. PH Submarine. Richard Ayoade. 2010 to 10 a.m. Film 4. Hard to resist this sweet-natured rom-com from Richard Ayoade, aka Morris Moss of the IT Crowd. It's the story of 15-year-old Oliver Tate Craig Roberts, who is determined to lose his virginity before he hits 16, preferably with Yasmin Page's Hordana, and to protect his mother Sally Hawkins from the seductive powers of old mullet-headed flame Graham Paddy Considine. There's real warmth and comedy in these characters. Today's live sport: Premier League football, Swansea City v Manchester United, 11:30 am. Sky Sports main event action from the top flight match at the Liberty Stadium. Test cricket: England v West Indies, 1 p.m. Sky Sports Cricket, third day of the first test, which takes place at Edgbaston. Premier League football: Stoke City v Arsenal, 5 p.m. BT Sport 1. Stoke City host Arsenal for their first home game of the season.